Welcome to 365 Christian Men, where every day we aim to inspire and encourage with real-life stories about men. November 22nd, Thomas Stonewall Jackson. On this date, in 1851, at the age of 27, Thomas Stonewall Jackson publicly proclaimed his faith in Jesus Christ. By this time, he had graduated from West Point, and he had demonstrated his bravery in the Mexican-American War. He was promoted to Brevet General and then to Lieutenant General. Today's story shows a little bit of how he began his career.
When a man is determined to learn, a poor start can become a rich finish. Thomas Stonewall Jackson arrived at West Point wearing Virginian homespun clothes and a felt hat. To hold his gear, he had slung saddlebags across his shoulders. But the other cadets were all well-dressed. His stance was awkward, his appearance uncultured, and he would later say he felt like a duck in the desert. As an orphan from Appalachia, compared to his classmates, he lacked appropriate education, and his appearance did not measure up. What he lacked in first impression, he made up for in grit. He immediately set to work, studying and trying his best to learn, but everything was a struggle. His lack of education made his work harder, and he had always been a slow learner. His class ranking hovered toward the bottom, even though he worked hard just to pass every course of study. Whenever teachers called him to the blackboard to solve a math problem, he pressed so hard against the board that his face and clothes got covered in chalk. French class and drawing class challenged him terribly, and in infantry tactics, he was barely above middle grade. During his first year, he felt so sure that he was going to fail that he actually prepared a speech for his friends back home. He wrote that West Point was so hard, they would also fail if they were there with him. And then came the taunts. His classmates saw Jackson as different. They hazed him. They put him through rough exercises where they forced him to run extra drills. They tried to make sure he would fail. But Cadet Jackson kept on. He would not give up, and he worked hard to never lose his temper. He would not let those who believed he should not be there get under his skin. Jackson was not at West Point to impress his classmates or his teachers. He was there to be the best soldier he could be and to learn no matter how long it took him. As lights went out at West Point for the night and extinguished lights was bugled, he put some coal in a grate, lit a tiny fire, and would lay on the floor huddled close to the light so he could continue his studies as the other cadets slept. Jackson was determined that if he did not understand the current lesson, he could not go on to the next lesson, even if he was behind a day. He would keep at it until he succeeded. A slow pace was better than skipping the lessons altogether. His perseverance kept him on a focused path. His determination became very noticeable. Even his classmates became aware of his efforts. One classmate, Dabney Mowry, said that Jackson looks as if he'd come to stay. Improvements, however, did not happen immediately, but slow and consistently. But as each month and year passed, Jackson's marks took a steady climb, and when the 4 years of study ended and he graduated, he finished 17th out of a class of 72. Thomas Jackson was commissioned an officer in the United States Army and appointed as second lieutenant of artillery. James 1:4 tells us, "Let perseverance finish its work so that you may be mature and complete, not lacking anything." Think of a task that is difficult or even seems impossible for you. Is God calling you to be determined and persevere? When a man is determined to learn, A poor start can become a rich finish.
Thank you for listening to today's story. Every day of the year, our hope is to inspire you with real-life stories of faithful men who have gone before us. We are excited to announce that every 365 story is now available as an ebook and is available for purchase on our website at 365christianmen.com.